Hey, what's going on, guys? Just your boy Tillman with another Tillman's Take. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to break down a video that comes to us out of Miami, Florida, where we watch an officer do a traffic stop on a vehicle. Now, today, what I want to really emphasize is the lack of indicators that show themselves when officers are about to be ambushed by a suspect. It's crazy when we see these situations as the civilians or somebody watching on the sidelines. We get to look at it, and see, okay, well, maybe this or maybe that, or maybe they should have saw this. But put yourself in the shoes of the officer when you watch this video, and I want to see if there's anything that looks abnormal about this stop.
Ryan Tillman, real talk, it's the truth.
Let's take a look at it, then we'll talk about it. The audio is going to come in right here.
Don't roll the windows for me. Thank you.
Tag to you.
License, registration, insurance.
I left the insurance home, but I got the registration license.
That's fine. I just need the license. I'll look up the insurance.
I ain't got no license, so I got an ID though. The car's in my name though.
Alright, let me get the ID. What's up with your license? It was revoked?
No, I never had. I'm going to court for it right now to go work on my license.
Okay.
Now, at this moment in the stop, does it seem like everything is going good? I mean, if you ask me, it seems like everything is going pretty kosher. I mean, the officer is asking him for license, registration, and insurance. The guy starts looking around. He says he doesn't have a license, but he has ID. Then he starts to look around for, some of his paperwork for his insurance. Everything seems like it's going fine. The passenger just sitting there, not really doing much. But at this moment in time, I want to ask you, the viewer, is there anything that looks abnormal? Again, if you ask me, there's not a lot that looks abnormal. Obviously, if you're there on the scene, if you're that officer, then maybe you might pick up on some other things. But at this moment in time, I think the officer thinks the same thing. Everything is going pretty normal. Let's continue watching.
Any weapons in the vehicle I need to know about?
All right. Did you hear that question that was asked? The guy asked, or the officer asked, is there any weapons in the vehicle? And what did the driver say? Nope. No weapons in the vehicle. No weapons at all. Why do I highlight that? Do you think people lie to the police? Absolutely. People lie to the police all the time. But a lot of people don't hear about those things. Let's go ahead and continue watching.
You got off work really.
I hear you. Bossman, you got a license? No?
But I got insurance on the car.
You got dropping me out to the house right quick.
I hear you.
Right now. Approaching 12-5. There's a black Charger. We're going to try it.
Alright, just go ahead and step out the vehicle. You're good.
Yeah, we're at 12 and 71.
All right. Has them step out the vehicle. The driver complies. Again, does everything seem like it's going pretty good? You ask me, the guy's following all the instructions. He's complying with everything the officers tell him to do. Let's continue to watch the video. So the officer's body cam gets knocked off during this scuffle, but you can see how quickly it escalated. Everything seemed like it was going well. Then the guy started to flee from the officers and the fight was on. Then there's a gunshot that goes off. Now, we don't understand, or we don't even know whose gun it was that fired. Now, I can tell you, obviously, because I did a little bit of research about this video, that was actually the officer's gun that fired at the suspect, and he fatally killed him. But we don't really see why or what happened or escalated to the point to where that officer needed to pull his gun and shoot him. But I did a little bit more research, and what I did find out that this guy was armed with a weapon. Let me go ahead and show you what that weapon was. So this is the weapon that the suspect had in his possession once he pulled him out of the vehicle. Now, there's still a lot of investigating going on into this shooting that happened in Miami. So we probably won't know the end result for a while, but I will tell you this is what they recovered on the scene. So I've done videos time and time again showing how officers only have a split second to make a decision. I would highly believe that that officer saw that weapon and at least saw him reaching for it, which caused him to pull the trigger of his gun. Now, we don't have that video yet. And is there any other videos? Maybe. We don't know yet. But this is a video that was released. But I bring this up again because if we watch that whole entire stop again, there was really not a lot of indicators that would have said like, hey, this guy has a gun and he's trying to fire it at police officers, or he's trying to threaten the officers with the gun. He answered no to the question about having any weapons in the vehicle. He said, no, there's no weapons. When the officer was asking him to look for his driver's license, registration, and insurance, it seemed like he was complying. Again, do you see why officers say I was in fear of my life? Because anytime they go on a traffic stop, anytime they handle any call for service, there's always an unknown. And I always bring up this when I talk about, police work, is I always go back to my football days. And when I played football as a defensive back, my job was to stop the receivers from catching touchdowns. My job was to stop them from catching passes and the whole 9 yards. The only people on the field that knew where the ball was going was the quarterback and the receiver. And so as a defensive back, I was playing from behind. I was already at a disadvantage because I didn't know where that receiver wanted to run his route. And so what I would try to do is I would try to look at little pre-indicators that would tell me what kind of route he was running or when the ball was in the air. Well, it's kind of the same thing in law enforcement, is we are taught to look for indicators that might arise that might tell us that a suspect is trying to do something other than cooperate. Some of those things might be small little lies. So in this situation, the suspect actually lied a little bit. Some of the other things might be looking around or sweating profusely, on a cold day, or just, stumbling over their words. There's a lot of different things that are indicators for us that tell us that something is not right. And those are the only things that we have to stay ahead of the curve, especially when you're somebody's trying to ambush you, or somebody's trying to assault you. So I thought this was a really, really good video to watch because, again, as we watched the start of the video, it seemed like everything was fine. Everything was kosher. It wasn't to the very end of the video that we saw it wasn't. So I hope you guys like these videos. I hope you enjoy them. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys leave some comments below so that way I know how we're doing. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and God bless.
Ryan Tillman, real talk, it's the truth.